We do like intro take and then give them some options.
Okay.
We're good at this, aren't we?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Right.
Same again, or?
I'll do mine.
Yeah.
And then she can pick that.
Yeah.
What she did. Hi, I'm Sam from Mamba FC.
Hi, I'm Ben from Mamba FC.
And today we're here doing a locker room talk. We're going to pick some questions out of this hat, discussing how to be a good teammate, all in the aid of November in Men's Mental Health Month.
Yeah.
Ben, question?
Go. Okay, okay. First question. How can we make it easier for students to talk about mental health and seek help?
I think to talk about it.
Yeah.
And although it might seem like a silly answer, I think the more people that are out there sharing their opinions on how mental health can affect a football club holistically, also how it can affect individually so strongly, I think if there's enough people out there willing to be brave and talk about it, doing these sort of things, having these conversations, having meetings, wellbeing checks, I think it creates less of a stigma around it. I think it can allow for an opportunity for it to prosper.
Yeah, like openness is key when it comes to that sort of thing. So like you said, the more people that are coming out and speaking, hopefully that'll set a trend of positive talking, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's contagious.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people might not want to be the first person to come out and say, well actually I'm feeling a little bit low and here's why.
Yeah.
But to be brave enough for one person to sort of be that martyr, it might help the next person.
For example, you see your mate going out talking to someone, or your mate comes to you speaking, that might set a conversation rolling then. So for example, if we went out, had a drink and I was feeling particularly low when we started talking, that might open you up to, oh, this has been on my mind as well.
Yeah.
Like I said, it just gets the conversation going, so like, so just more openness and being comfortable with being able to be open, because it is a stigma, especially with men's mental health, where you don't want to be seen as weak just for talking, because it's not. Mental health is something that everyone goes through. So yeah, just openness, and everyone's suffering in some sort of way, so yeah.
Break down the barrier, I
Yeah.
suppose.
That's
Right.
right.
Question 2. This is well sticky about. Jesus, I'll see it together. How do you and your teammates support each other off the pitch? In Manchester Met FC, we recently did a feedback form about how our players were finding their first semester within the club, and I'm very proud to say we got 100% score of yes when we asked, do you feel a togetherness inside the club? To me, that's incredibly important, not just for being teammates, but also for being friends on and off the pitch. I think it's important that no matter what sport you play in, whether you're for us in the ones or whether you're in the fours, whether it's netball, for example, and you're in the ones and the eights, that everybody interacts, everybody uses their Wednesday socials as an opportunity to meet new people and have different conversations to the ones that you might have in the locker room. But building a bond across an entire club, I think, can definitely open a vulnerability for young men to be able to talk more freely and be more confident, because they feel that everyone around the club values their opinion and that they're not going to feel silly or be joked about for having that opinion.
Yeah, I think this year for me, with it being my third year, this is the biggest or the smallest gap socially between the first year and the first team and fourth team. So having that relationship definitely will allow people to be more comfortable in themselves. Like, you're not stepping on eggshells if you're walking on the first team, or so you can have a laugh with more people and feel more comfortable around everyone. So yeah,
Definitely.
Next one. What does your club do to create a supportive environment? If not, what needs to change?
I think we do a lot to create a supportive environment. I think as much as possible, so we all play on Wednesdays, all clubs will. As much as possible, there will always be committee members and other core members of other teams coming down to watch other teams play, whether we're down watching the women's or whether we're down to watch the fours before our game or after our game. I think we make an inclusive environment, which is incredibly important. I think the only way that could be improved is that it is everybody there.
Yeah.
I know I felt when I was at college, for example, if us guys in the first team played, every player from the second team had to be there. That wasn't a negotiable. It wasn't, I don't fancy it, because you were there, and if you weren't there, that's what would be the issue, rather than, I can't be bothered to come down. It was, no, you should be there. You should be supporting your teammates. You should be supporting the club as a whole. And I think that culture is incredibly important.
I think it sort of speaks for itself in terms of the culture that we do have at the club. For example, you're walking around uni, you see one of the football lads, you go over and speak to him, you'll see him with a number of other lads from football. So I think that shows how strong our bond is, to say that we only see each other for an hour and a half on Mondays, sometimes like ones and fours, different times.
Also 15 minutes.
Exactly, yeah. So the fact that you see lads from the fours spending so much time on the ones over the twos and the threes outside of uni, I think that speaks like tons for the relationship that we do have and the environment we do have at the club.
I think one thing that helps us as a club to close that gap between different teams was having a more varied committee and having players in different roles, and rather than just having all first team committee or all players playing in a 14 committee, there's a mix from pretty much every team.
Yeah.
And there's a mix of roles, there's a mix of captains, vice captains, coaches, all sorts that are involved in the committee. And I think those different roles add value to being able to be a bridge between different teams.
Yeah.
So I think that's quite helpful. Next question, really sticky Val. Is there a moment when you realised it was okay to ask for help, and what led for that? I think rather than one moment, I think it was, from my experience, more of a movement that happened not just in football but in society for young men, especially around the university age. I think there may be a generation previous to us that were less aware and less in tune with their mental health, and I think we are probably the first generation that is really come at the forefront of our mind, and it is, in my opinion, just as valuable as your physical health. And you know, you can be whatever you want to be, but if you aren't mentally healthy, why would we treat that any differently to walking around with a broken arm in a cast? And just because you can't see it, I think the movement that has come around in the last maybe 5 to 10 years of really pushing, especially within young men, has become so valuable. And it's a lesson I definitely learned, that all of a sudden actually it was okay to ask for help and to not be okay, and people around you won't judge you or hold that against you or think you're weak. If you turn around to me tomorrow and you say, look, I'm really struggling, I'm in a really difficult position and I don't know what to do about it, I'd go, wow, that's a strong young man who's in tune with his emotions and with his mental health, in the same way I might go to a physio because my knee's bad.
Yeah. It's a different type of support, isn't it? So for me, I'd say I've had friends from home who have gone through stuff, and having them come to me to seek help and like wanting for me to offer them support really inspired me to sort of be like, oh, it is okay for me to go and speak to people. So seeing some of my closest friends do that, be brave enough to come out and speak to me, sort of was like, oh, why haven't I been doing that? Why haven't taken that opportunity upon myself
It's a
before.
good word, brave.
Yeah.
To be brave enough to come out and say that.
So it is scary. It's not easy to go and talk about something that's going on upstairs, is it? I'm sure you'll have gone through stuff. I know I've gone through stuff where, if I'd gone out and spoke to someone a couple of weeks earlier, then this last 2 weeks might have not been as rough or whatever's happened. So yeah, that's it for that one.
Two more.
Two more.
One each, maybe.
Yeah. Who on the team do you go to when you're feeling low?
I think what we have more so this year than we may have had in previous years, like I previously mentioned about having a variety of people on the committee, I think for every player and every team that we've created a culture where there is, for lack of a better explanation, a line manager.
Yeah.
So you have a team captain and you have a coach and a committee member that everybody has a friendly relationship with. I know if I found myself in that position, I know that we've got committee members on the twos and on the ones who I'm not just friends with because of football, I'm now friends with through football.
Yeah.
And I don't feel there's a lot of players in the club who, if I had to call and say, look, I really need to talk to you about something, that they'd be going, well, why is this conversation happening with me?
Yeah.
I think that culture's become so much stronger over the last couple of years.
Yeah, so for me it's like, it's gotten to a point in the club where I could be comfortable talking to a group chat of players rather than just one certain person. I just can't put it on one person who I can say, I want to go and speak to them, I want to go and speak to that person. There's that many good people in this club now who are very in touch with what's going on and are comfortable with the conversations that we're having right now. That there's a number of people I could go and speak to about a number of different things, and people who aren't even at the club anymore that have been through the club.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it goes down, and that's the sort of impact I'm going to hope that we're going to have on the freshers coming up now.
Definitely.
And that hopefully that's a continuous thing.
Definitely. Right, one more question. Pick a good one that isn't sticky.
Go on.
About. Final question. Are there any resources or people at uni who have made a difference for you? Definitely. I mean, we're fortunate. Our club has a head of football in Gareth, which can make making a link between being a player to the committee to the uni a little bit easier because we've got a middleman. We're in a very fortunate position where we've got a sort of figurehead at the club who can add value not just in their football knowledge and their operational running, but also being able to be reasonable to talk to and being able to put you in contact with the right people. I know the university offer counselling and wellbeing resources and financial advice and financial help. And what's important to remember is you pay X amount a year for your university fees, and that isn't just your teaching. What you are paying for is an institution which can offer you so much value if you choose to take it. It's definitely something not to be looked lightly upon. I think stuff like the counselling and the therapy they offer, if you gave someone the opportunity, footballers for example, if we said to our first team captain, we're going to take you into a MRI scanner and we're going to test your body fat and we're going to get your physical objective measures and we're going to tell you what's wrong with you, what's right with you. They go bite the hand off, I'm sure. It took any of our players, they do that. What the university offer in those counselling and therapy services is that, but for your mental well-being. So to me, I can't imagine that if anyone's offered, why you would say no. And no matter whether or not you feel like you need or whether you feel like you're struggling, I believe that in 99% of cases, using those resources can only have a positive outcome.
Yeah, I'd say for me it's probably a lot simpler. So I didn't play for the football team in the first year, didn't try End of first year, had a lot of stuff at home, personal stuff going on, wanted to drop out of uni. That didn't end up happening. Start of second year, trial for the football team, got on. And just the football in general, this community that I gained from being a part of the football team. I'll go as far as saying it changed my life.
Yeah.
So I can't say I've ever been happier than I have been these last 2 years. Mental health wise, it's sorted me right out. So
It's the power of community and social interaction and being able to participate in something that isn't so heavy.
No.
I think I've been in a position a lot maybe similar to you where when I have had struggles with my mental health, that it feels like every conversation you have is heavy and emotionally taxing and is a reminder of how difficult things can be. I come here for 2.5 hours on Monday night and all day Wednesday when I'm thinking about is football. And you know, if you took 2 days of the week, which I'm probably feeling my best, it'll be, I know that I'm going to football tonight and it'll be nothing but enjoyment. And I know that when I turn up on Wednesday, you know, win or lose, it might really hurt if we lose. It did. We lost on Wednesday, so it's terrible.
I'd say.
But you get in the pub on Wednesday night and things get better.
Disappear, don't they? Like the biggest resource I'd say is don't have to be a sports team, any society. I've been introduced to friends for life. Not just from football either. The people that I've been introduced to from other societies through football, out on socials or through community or whatever. It's changed my full outlook on university life, and you sort of gain skills that I want to take into my future now.
It's the power of participation in so many ways. It's something I've learned about through coaching young children, the impact it can have. Because when you face it, university are also formative years of life. You think maybe, you know, going into secondary school and who you meet there, and you know, maybe going into college when you're a bit older and who you choose to be friends with as a young adult. But when you come to university, a lot of people moving away from home, you put yourself in an incredibly vulnerable position, which makes you very malleable, makes you very moldable, and the power of participation to be involved with new people. And also, it's not just, I've come in and I joined Man-led football in my first year and this has been my university experience since. It might be, I went to join X society in my first year and I realised that actually they might not be my people and I might want to try something. Or this might not be my cup of tea, and you've got an answer which you might have been looking for. So I do think it helps. I could do one more each. I could have got time. Quick one.
We're doing quite well so far. Right. What does it say? Have there been times that you've smiled? Wait. I don't know what this says.
Why have you used half a post-it note? You've got the full thing, just write it bigger.
What does that say? Have there been times you've shingled?
It looks like a word we shouldn't say on camera, doesn't it?
No,
Have there been times where you've struggled with your mental health? What helped you throughout?
I don't know how to answer this.
I mean, if I'm happy to say that I think people who know me wouldn't be surprised. I've had a lot of issues with mental health within my family, my upbringing, but also personally, it's something that I've always struggled with and has never been a linear road. I've been better, I've been worse, I've had bad months, I've had good months, I've had months where I think this was a thing of the past, and then I've had months where I think this is something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. And accepting that it isn't just a one and done job. You don't fix your mental health once and that's it. You know, you don't go into a physiotherapist and they say, well, you should start doing this exercise and it will fix your hip. And you go, okay, and you do it for 3 weeks, your hip gets better, and you go, well, brilliant, you know, I'm fit for life. The reality of it isn't that, and I think accepting that has been something that has become an incredibly empowering feeling for me, and accepting that I will have bad times, and that is part of dealing with dealing with my mental health, and the only way to tackle it is by getting in the driver's seat and trying to take control of it in the best way you can, and accepting that things aren't just going to get great and going to stay great.